In each team's quest to enter the opposition 22, the centre third of the field is the key battleground, and the place where the set-piece attack tends to be the most tactically planned. In this sequence, England use a three-phase play to try and gain tactical advantage. A five-man line-out forms the attacking platform, and the same way attack aims to condense the French defence, giving George Ford the opportunity to slide the ball through, giving England that all-important 22 entry. And in that sequence there's a whole host of interesting attack details going on, and indeed the French defence is also worth breaking down. Let's take a look. England opt for a five-man line-out, which allows them to use Billy Vunipola and Sam Underhill, who joins Farrell to attack the 40 and hope to get some go forwards. Notice that France defend England's five-man line with four forwards in the line, and Bourgarit stood in the 9 position at the tail. Now this tactic gives them that extra play in the backline, which allows France to have tighter spacings, making them even harder to break. Also, notice that Khulud is at the front of the line and he'll hold the edge, which is pretty common in 13-2 defence. England's drive forward with Launchbury and Curry is pretty simple, but it's really effective and allows Itoje to go up uncontested. Now importantly, Bourgarit is still free at the back of the line out, so he can now connect the hinge with Collinga. The play itself has Vunipola and Farrell outside of Ford, and then Underhill and May in a stacked position in behind him. This picture makes it pretty clear that England are aiming to attack tight to set a platform, and France's defence sets accordingly, with 12 players in half a pitch. Now England are going to run a double switch. Farrell runs the first switch, cutting under Ford, aiming to hold Tofafua, and Ford runs an outward arc, and his intention is to interest Percenti enough to create a bit of a space for Vunipola, who runs the second switch line. But the French defence here is really effective, stopping England behind the gain line. A key feature here is the Jalibert holding the high line, aiming to cut off the outside options, and that gives the inside defence the confidence that they need to cover their own space. Percenti reads the picture perfectly. He ignores Ford's lateral movement and makes a dominant tackle of Vunipola. Now that's not an easy feat. But the second phase is the most interesting of the lot. Johnny May, who was part of the initial stack setup, makes his way to the 50, with George, Launchbury and Sinclair setting off 9. With George Ford standing flat, he runs a short blocker play, and that gives England a 60-metre ruck. But there's a lot more to this that I just love to see. We're going to focus in on George Ford here and his body language. As the ball's about to be played from Ben Youngs, George Ford is standing flat, he's completely disinterested with his hands by his sides, whereas Launchbury is active, eyes on the ball, hands up ready to carry, and indeed Slade and Daly outside are ready for the open side play. And the bit that I really love about this is as the ball comes to Launchbury, he actively ducks out of the way and Ford springs to life. Slade's line targets the high line block from Jalibert, and it takes an excellent tackle from Denty to stop May breaking through, a real trademark of the French defence. While England would have been looking for a line break, they get the stage that they thought was most likely, and Ford gives England that key 22-metre entry, making the most of the space afforded by a 13-2 defence system. I really hope you enjoyed that video. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep the channel growing.